What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Tell Me More podcast presented by Major League Success. And I have the one and the only Heidi Sutter Smith with me. Hey, Heidi, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So just a quick background. We were just chatting before the recording started, and I was like, man, I don't really know. How did we get connected? And yeah, we think you just rolled up into the office when you were doing a showing or something in Westerville, and Ryan wasn't there, and I was the person there to talk to.
Yep. Needed
That was
to
probably
decompress a little bit.
I'm sure it was something going on with a deal or something like that you guys
Right.
just had to talk about. But that was probably what, 2-3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, about that. I'd say that.
So Heidi's with the Sutter Smith Home Group, and she's with Coldwellbanker Realty. And I'm excited because I don't really know the story of Heidi and getting into the business. So this is going to be fun. And I
You
always
have
like to
tissues?
start. Hey, we can get real. We can get real. But I always like to, Heidi, I always like to start with like growing up, right? And, childhood, getting into high school, college, kind of fill me in on, what was life like? Were you always, an entrepreneur? Did you enjoy sales, or was it, something completely different?
It's kind of weird. I grew up in the big old town of Pataskala. And, traditional mom, dad. I have a brother who's a little younger than me. And this is going to be surprising to you, John, but I was kind of a hellion when I was in high school. So,
You don't say.
well, yeah. So, my dad is a contractor, and a lot of the times he did not want to leave me and my brother alone at home. So, we would go to work with my dad a lot on the weekends. And it's funny how the perspective is now. I think that it taught me a great work ethic. My brother thinks that we were childhood labor, you know, and that he did us such a disservice. So my brother
free
and I are
free labor,
complete.
right?
Right. My brother and I see it in, from a different perspective, but it definitely kept us out of trouble. And I mean, to me, it taught me that if you want something, you have to work for it.
Yeah. And I didn't know that you grew up in Pataskala.
Yeah,
That's
right on
awesome.
Main
That's
Street.
all right. All right. Hey, that's where I'm currently at. So there you go.
Yeah,
So dad was a contractor, just doing kind of like just your normal contracting type stuff.
right. I would.
Uh,
eh, I had small hands, so I had to, get into the tight spots, and I mean, he taught me how to, he taught me how to do work as well. Which, I mean, obviously, in the business that I'm in now, and with my husband and I having flipped a couple homes, it was to our advantage.
yeah, for sure. So in high school, you're doing that stuff. Did you end up going to college? Did you jump into the workforce?
Yeah, I actually, my parents were pretty insistent that I attend college. I would have been the first child, the first grandchild to go to the Ohio State University, where I went and declared my major of social work. Um, but I discovered High Street, I discovered Papa Joe's, I discovered Mean Mr. Mustard's, and I think I made it 4 semesters, 4 quarters.
Hey, that's all right. You
Right.
experienced life, right?
I sure did, for better or for worse.
Hey, at the end of the day, it all leads to where you're at now, right? So it's all worth it. It's the journey. That's the whole point of the podcast. So you go to
I
Ohio
know how to push
State.
people down alleys and shopping carts.
So you go to Ohio State, going for social work, figure out one way or the other that, college may not be the thing for you. What was the next move for you? What was the next step?
I got really lucky. I think in life it's always not what you know, but who you know. And you know, I got a job with the county. I was lucky enough, and this is going to be real entertaining to you, that I became a dog catcher with Franklin County.
I'm just picturing you running around with like this pole and this little hoop at the end, chasing these dogs down the alley.
I was the only female dog catcher, and I had a method, man. We were over on Alum Creek Drive, and I would stop on the beginning of my shift, get a bag of sliders, and I caught more dogs than any man that would chase them, run with his pole, wrestle Rottweilers. I'd just lure them into the van, and my quota was met.
That's awesome. Hey, look, you learned early on, right? It was working more
Right.
efficiently and smarter, and I'm sure that it has translated to your business. so
Amen.
so so how long did you do that for?
I did that probably about 5 years. I was, you know, I mean, full sheriff's uniform, everything, Um, I just kind of saw it as not the thing that I wanted to be when I grew up. This was like my late 20s. I was going into some neighborhoods where the prices of houses are probably now 400,000. And it just wasn't something that I wanted to do for my whole life. So
Yeah.
I took a job similar. I took a job with the Humane Society, and that was a little more gravy.
So you're doing the Humane Society. So you said late 20s. What were you doing with them?
Humane officer, picking up animals, setting
Do
them
you,
free. A lot of raccoons, a lot of possums somewhere out there.
so you're doing that work. Kind of fill me into the time that you end up getting into the real estate business.
Well, catching dogs, catching possums doesn't really pay the bills. And, I went through, when I was with the Humane Society, I went through this ugly divorce. And I just quit everything, John, to be honest with you. I didn't want to be, working for the Humane Society. So I was going through a divorce. I quit, and I became a waitress at Bob Evans. And there was a broker that would come in. This particular broker would come in, and their order was so complicated, so complex. And I was the only waitress that was able to get their order correct. And at the time, they told me, you know, you really have an eye for detail. You should. And, it just kind of put the buzz in my ear.
Yeah. And how long were you doing Bob Evans before you decided to make that plunge? Was it was
God,
it
I
like
would
a
tell.
constant was it like a constant thing that every time they came in, they kind of gave you that little reminder, that little nudge?
I would see their outfits. I would see the cars they drove, you know, and I would walk away with $40 at the end of my shift and be like, if they're telling me that I should do this, I kind of wouldn't mind having what they have.
Yeah.
Um, and that was in 2007. Market was a lot different in 2007.
Yeah, you're walking into something and then about to get rocked. And it's funny because I think, look, I love the movie Wolf of Wall Street. If you look past all of the uh, sex, drugs, and everything else that went on in that movie, there's good things that come from that I picked up. And the one scene, like I talked to Jake, who is an agent in Kent, and kind of a similar thing, kind of like you. And it goes back to the Wolf of Wall Street scene. Like, show me your check and I quit today. Like, he kind of had a similar experience with what he was doing. And we found on our team, like I counted it up a couple months ago, I think we have like 7, 8 people from the restaurant industry that,
Yeah.
are,
Great
are either,
connections, man.
well, here's the thing that you learned, right? It's you learn how to communicate, attention to detail with orders, reading people, picking up on personalities, picking up on emotions, you know, servers, bartenders, waiters, waitresses,
Right.
you guys pick that stuff up. And then it's just
Bacon
teaching you
with
the real.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
So,
know,
so yeah. Yeah. So the brokers coming in, giving you kind of planting those little seeds, right? Hey, you may be good at this. You should probably think about this. You get into it. When did you decide to really make that decision and dive in?
it's funny. I was newly divorced, and I was struggling to pay the bills and everything. And I met this guy. I knew him through some friends, and it's like one person tells you that you should do something. Yeah, yeah. But I met this guy, and he was like working at a small brokerage. He said, "My God, you would be really good at real estate." And that was like my aha moment, that, man, I really love this guy. I think I'm going to, ask him to go out on a date by asking him more questions about real estate. and, and maybe this is my sign. Like, 2 people tell me this, maybe it's time. And
Yeah.
that's when I made the jump. I started at Hondros, and, um, there, I'm really hard headed. And when somebody tells me I'm not going to do something, that's when I do it. I remember this particular instructor, as I was sitting there flipping through my magazines, bored at what he was talking about. He said, only 5 of you are going to be in the business in 10 years. And it's been 10 years.
So when you made that decision to go into real estate, I'm always curious. Did you have more doubters? Did you have more supporters? Because again, it's one of those industries where you sink or you swim. It's
Right.
you're either going to make it or you don't, and it's 100% commission based. Most people, we're taught and brought up on, go get a good job, go get one that pays 9 to 5, and you get a salary or get paid every 2 weeks or whatever. Especially with everything that you had going on, did you have a support crew, or did a lot of people doubt you?
Um, I mean, I don't surround myself with people that are doubters. I want to be. I mean, my core group of people are those that lift me up. If you're a doubter, you know, I don't really have much time for you. The people that I have in my life are positive and uplifting people, and I mean, they have faith in Heidi. I think the biggest doubter was myself. I was scared to death, man. Like you said, 100% commission. What am I going to do? How am I going to pay my MLS dues when I get this commission check? I
Yeah,
mean, my biggest doubter was definitely myself, and it was just fear. But once I
yeah.
walked through the fear, the rest is history.
So this was 2007. Is that when you got licensed, or
Oh
2008?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
So walk me through, getting licensed. Obviously, now you've had two people tell you, "Hey, you're gonna, be great at real estate. Go get licensed." Now that you got your license, kind of walk me through, those first couple years. Was it struggles? Was it instant success? How did you go about building your business?
I'm I mean, really, John, I told every single person that I knew that I was a real estate agent and that I could help them find a house. Um, I started out with, my number one client was an investor that was looking to get into, like the Miller Kelton area. I
Hmm.
remember, I remember there was some doubters at the brokerage that I was with. They would say, Heidi, how are you selling $17,000 houses? How are you surviving? And I'm like, well, I'm selling 6 to 10 of them a year. And, no one's calling to repo my Mercedes. I'm doing it. I'm out here doing it.
Yeah.
So I just told everybody, wait, I was afraid to quit my job right away. I stayed with Bob Evans. I remember doing request to remedies in the break room, smoking a cigarette, working and everything, I was really fearful to quit my job at the time, but like I said, my biggest supporter is my husband, Brian. And he was like, honey, you're going crazy. It's time for you to quit. And I did, and I just kept hustling.
And Brian was already in the business, right? Was he
Right.
already selling or?
Yeah, he was selling. He worked for a small brokerage, mostly doing it part time. He comes from, his core, he comes from an Irish Catholic family of 8 sisters.
Oh,
His mom
wow.
has 8 sisters. And that was, if we did a big deal, that's who we were doing deals with, was his
Yeah.
family. He'd get pretty mad when they'd start calling me, even though he was licensed. But it's just personality, I guess.
That's what it's just personality, right? You just chalk it up to
Yeah, right.
that. So was working with investors, obviously you had the one, kind of walk me through that period of time where the market kind of crashed and you just got licensed, right? I'm sure before then the market was doing all right, and then you get licensed, market crashes. Walk me through kind of just your mindset as a brand new agent. You know, how did you navigate those waters? Because my biggest thing is, agents got to be willing to be able to pivot, lose ego a little bit, swallow pride sometimes, do things a little bit differently than what they're used to. And I got in on the tail end of all of that. It wasn't as, I didn't have
Yeah.
to go through it. I got in on the tail end of it, but kind of give me some of your insights at that time, going through that, especially starting a new business, a new career.
Just hustle, man. There's so much abundance out there, and obviously, John, I don't live beyond my means. At the time that I started, I had a little Honda Fit that I would cruise around all over town in. And and I never discriminated against like a price point. If you wanted a $17,000 house, I'm going to show it to you just like I would a, 170,000 at the time. That was a big sale at the time, was 170,000. You know, um, there's just so much abundance out there that I went after all of it. I don't care what price point you're at. Let's do it.
How many deals did you do, your first couple years into the business?
I came out hustling. I was probably doing, at the time. I think about it now, it's funny. I was so excited to do like 10 deals a year. You know,
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
deals a year was big, and those
But think
those
about
were
that.
my deals.
Yeah, but think about that, right? Like, you're this is what I tell agents all the time. I mean, our business allows us to live, a pretty flexible, free flowing life, like 10 deals a year.
Amen.
That was probably what allowed you to stop the waitressing and, not worry about actually having to clock in and clock out and be on someone else's time and dime.
Right.
It provided that lifestyle. And,
Brian,
you know, go ahead.
Brian would get mad at me because at the JC pool in Westerville, I would do my deals back in the bushes while my core group of elderly ladies would make sure my kids were okay. You know, I've turned all of those women have become, of course, clients, but Brian's like, Heidi, you gotta work a little. I'm like, I'm going to. I'm at the pool.
That's one of the first things I learned, about the business when I got into it with Ryan was, Ryan is a believer that life comes first and your work should be designed around your life. And when I got into the business, I was a recent college grad, and he'd be like, "Hey, we're going to go to the pool on a Tuesday. We're going to go up to Zumbizi Bay," and he'd be like, "Hey, I forget I think the passes were like, I don't know, $60 or something for the season." And he'd be like, "Man, if we
Right.
just go there 3 times or more this summer, it pays for itself." I'm like,
Wow.
I'm in, like,
Right.
wait, you mean I can work and sell real estate from a pool on a Tuesday?
Great.
Count me in. But
Right.
I think you said something there that is true in our business, and that's abundance. You know, like right now, right? Obviously, everything that's going on in the economy and question marks, unknowns, the market's slowing a little bit. It's not going down; it's slowing a little bit. Um, there's still deals that are going to happen. People still need
Oh
to
yeah.
buy. People still need to sell. And that's one of the things I just took away from what you just said back in that time when the world was on fire.
Hmm.
Was hustle. You know, what are you doing every single day? There's opportunities every single day.
Every day. I never turn down an invitation. You know, I mean, there's always somebody that's going to be buying or selling real estate, and I mean, if I'm invited to a dinner party, I go to a dinner party. I talk about real estate. I also love real estate. Like I love houses. So, when I wasn't working with my father on the weekend, I was like, I got to get home to watch the King Thompson Home Show, man. Because I really love houses. I love everything about houses. And then you get to connect people with them. It's a win-win, man. I
Do
love
you,
this job.
do you think you picked up the love of real estate? Sorry, the love of houses from the work that you did with your dad?
I think so. Yeah, I really did.
Yeah, I think, for me, my parents always bought older homes and we would fix them up and live in them and all of those things. So when I got into it, it was really more from the investing side of what I wanted to do, flipping
Mhm.
and all of that stuff. And I just got in because I wanted to learn real estate, and the real estate part has stuck with me. So, fill me up, kind of bring me up to speed as far as, 2009, 10, 11, 12, kind of what was business like, building a team, kind of lead me up till today.
A lot. I mean, like I said, a lot of hustle, a lot of grit. I'm. I also have this. I also have this gift where things fall into my lap. I'm very lucky because, not lucky. I mean, it was a lot of work, man. You do right by people. They're going to tell somebody about it, So
Yeah.
I remember when I first got started in the business, all these agents that were like, oh, I'm 100% referral. That's all I do. And I thought, I want to be like them when I grow up, and you know, and here I am sitting. I mean, by by I mean, I deeply connect with my clients like when we're in the middle of a transaction. I love
Right.
my clients. I'm helping connect them, keeping the stress out of the deal, taking care of it, but they tell their friends about that. They and I mean, so much of my business now is based on referral. A lot of stuff from social media too. I don't I hit social media light, But, you know, I have been so blessed with the business that I've gotten off of social media.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: the going deep with the relationship with your clients, is that a skill that you always had, or is that something that you had to work on and really put in place?
No, I mean, a lot of people are a-holes, but I really do love people, you know? Um, um, it feels so good, like, when you are helping somebody, first of all, make bank off of selling their house, like you said you would,
Yeah.
and then getting them transitioned into the next house smoothly, you know? I just, man, I got a video the other day. I just helped some people buy in Westerville, and they send me pictures and videos of their little kid cussing, which, just because it's cute as heck. Like, we just connect.
Yeah.
I just love people, able to connect with them, and what a great way to earn income too, because we earn nice incomes from those connections.
Yeah, for sure. No, I just, some people, that's their gift, you know what I mean? And some people have to work on it, and actually work on doing it. And that may seem bad to say, but just some people have that gift to be able to connect on that type of level to where, you know, they become your raving fans, and not just your raving fans, but friends, right? Clients become
Yes.
friends, right? And that's, I tell people all the time, you go into Hondros and it's always like, oh, you're going to be sued. You're going to do, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, my whole goal by the end of a transaction was client to friend. I want them to be a
Yeah.
friend.
Good luck.
Friends typically don't sue
Yep.
friends. Some friends do, but
Right. Right. Those
friends
a-holes
typically.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you said, things just fall into your lap, and you were about to say you were lucky, but then you changed it. It's work, right? It's hard work, preparation, doing the
It's a
right thing.
combination. Yeah.
So team, building a team, have a team, kind of fill me in over the
Oh,
last
that's a
couple of
hard
years.
one. That's a hard one. I mean, I want to be like Ryan when I grow up, you know?
So now,
I
before you
always
wanted to get
tease.
referrals when you grew up, and now
Yeah.
you want to be like
Yeah.
Ryan.
So, yeah. Yeah. I want to ride that gravy train. Um, it's hard because I'm a type A control freak and no one can do it like I do it, so I'm
Yeah.
learning. I'm learning that yes, I can turn over certain tasks. Um, I don't have to show houses when I have COVID.
Learn that, right?
Just
That's one thing. Hey, I think that's honestly okay. Everything that's gone on in, with COVID, and there's been horrible things, but there's been a lot of, I think, good that's come from it too, as far as from a business standpoint, from an agent standpoint, just kind of like what you said, right? Like there's other ways to be able to provide that top level service without you having to necessarily touch every single piece of it.
right,
I mean, I just did a listing
right. Which
consultation. I just did a listing consultation the other day on Zoom,
right,
and they were 100% comfortable with it.
really, I've shown a lot of houses over Zoom.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
a lot of that's something that's so common when you tell a certain age demographic. My parents. I tell my parents that I've sold a house over Zoom. They're like, "What?" They just cannot believe that I would have sold a house, without the client being there.
yeah, yeah. But again, real estate changing with what's going on. Everyone became a little bit more comfortable with the video and all of those things. So, running a business, it's like, are there things that I can be doing to be a little bit more, efficient? It goes back to your, your story about catching the dogs, right? Hey, I just lure them right into the van, into the truck, right? It's same thing on the real estate side.
Right. Exactly.
Um, so I know
I
building
have
a
to start
team.
throwing White Castles at my clients.
Yeah, just before every showing, just have a box sitting there right on the front door.
Yeah.
Um, so fill me in on, I want to transition to, I know you're, building a team and things were going on with that. And um, I want to kind of go into the future as far as, some of your goals and things along those lines. Do you have any big accomplishments that you're looking to do here in the next 12 months?
Within the 12 months, it's definitely taken a step back. I've been talking with a couple agents here in our office about merging. We've had that kind of discussion. I have a group of women that every Tuesday we have our power bitch prospecting hour.
I love it.
And we prospect together our database, which but we've been kicking a lot of ideas off of one another, and the success that's come just from that 1 hour is ridiculous. So we've been in the works talking about what we together.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, I was just talking to Brad Winter yesterday, and around that whole thing, like running an actual business, right? And I think a lot of uh, real estate agents get into the business, obviously, to get away from being told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, right? From either another job, corporate world, whatever. Um, but in order to have a business, in my opinion, is you need a team of people around you, right? You can't do everything in the transaction, post transaction, before transaction, right? You you can, in the sense of, it's going to tie you down and it's going to be a job, right? You're just going to be stuck to, doing what the clients want to do and all of those things. But, getting to that next stage of actually running a business and having a business is you creating that team of, like-minded individuals that you trust and, can help offset some of those things, some of those tasks, to give you more free time. Because I think that's the biggest thing that gets lost once people get into this business, is the freedom and flexibility piece.
I mean, also more importantly, John, I think it's the accountability. You know, it,
Yeah.
it, it's you know, it, I'm like, oh, a squirrel. That's the way my brain is wired. So it's really nice to have this group of like-minded, successful women that we get together, and we're accountable to one another to help build and boast each other's business. And
Yeah.
I get a lot of people saying, well, aren't you afraid? Aren't you afraid that they're going to do this, that, or that? And there's so much, like I said, there's so much business in Columbus. If I can't tell you how I send out mailers, that's pretty pitiful. Because
Yeah.
you're not
And
sending
that was,
mailers to the same people.
yeah. And that was an aha moment for me about 4 years ago, I think. Um,
Mm.
I used to be just that person. I was like, hey, I don't really care about anyone else as far as real estate agents go. And, I want to focus on myself. I want to focus on our team. And, what we're doing is, top secret, but it really wasn't top secret, right? Like, we all do the same
Right.
stuff. No one's inventing anything around here. And, that was my aha. And I went back. It was funny because I think we did, I don't know, 100 and some transactions, 190, 200. It was something along those lines. I went back to 2011 when I got licensed. And in 2011, there was about 20,000 homes that sold in Columbus. And when I was
Mm.
doing this look back, this aha moment was, we just did 100 and some transactions, almost 200 transactions, whatever it was, in the time where it was a bad market, we wouldn't even had 1% market share of what was
Right.
going on in Columbus. And from that moment on, it was just like, why am I afraid? Why do I have this scarcity mindset? Why am I afraid to not share, what's working for us? And that was kind of my aha moment. It's that abundance mindset. And I think, if we can get more people thinking abundantly instead of scarcity, it would do wonders for their business. But you're right, the accountability, because I believe in three things. Everyone should have a coach. Everyone
Amen.
can everyone can be a peer to someone else, right? Hey, we're both on the same path at the same time. Let's help each other through the highs. Let's help each other through the lows. And I believe everyone can coach someone else. And, even if you just did 2 transactions in a year, guess what? You can teach that new agent that hasn't done any to do 2. And
Right.
that communication piece, that teaching piece is going to be what helps you move faster in your own business.
I agree completely. I mean, that's kind of, you talk about long-term goal. You talked about and ask a question about goals over the year. I love like, I love seeing the newbie agents in our flex space over there, the hustlers. I know who a hustler is. I see him in there all the time. I see him on the phone and everything. It's like first time home buyers. It just touches my heart. I see them in there grinding and everything. And, I want to tell them, hey, if you need any help, this is my cell phone number. Let me know. Because I remember when I was licensed, newly licensed, I didn't know what to put in the blanks. I didn't
Yeah.
know, you know, I had no idea how to write a contract until I started writing contracts.
Yeah.
I love helping new people. Love it.
Yeah. Did you go back? You go back in there and tell them the Heidi stories from when you got started?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Hey, you guys thought it was tough now. Let me tell you about
Right.
2008,
Back in
2009.
my day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, Heidi, any big goals or accomplishments that you're looking to do in the next 5 years?
Probably, personal goal, but it's also, of course, relating to real estate. I want some land, man. I want some land and I want to build some tiny cabins. My dad is 73 now, but he's still building. He's
Wow.
still doing stuff. Yeah. He's badass. So, I want, I just want to get some land and build some places, have a place for me to go away to. But of course, I'm all about the Benjamins. I want, I want some place that's going to bring in some money as well when I'm not there, when I'm up here in Columbus driving 270 for a living.
Are driving? Are you looking to do more like Airbnb stuff or just sell, develop and sell it off?
No, Airbnb,
Yeah,
little tiny
it's something.
cabins.
Yeah, I hear you. It's something that we're getting into. Ryan's getting into quite a bit. Ann and I are getting one, or in the process of getting one in Texas. So
Nice.
it's the next step for us. It's bringing in some of that passive income.
Amen.
So what do you think you need to do in order to accomplish that goal? What do you need to put in place?
Buy land, you know. Buy land and make it happen. That's the other thing about me. My husband always teases. He says I have a great asset and a huge defect, and that's I just jump into stuff. You know, if I want something, this is what I got to do to get it. Do it. So,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
a
think
it's a simple answer. I don't mean to be a smart aleck, but
no,
that's
I
what I
think it's
have to
great.
do.
I
Is
mean, yeah, no, a lot of us overthink things, right? And that's what ends up
oh,
stopping us from actually doing anything. Is
right.
it's got to be perfect. There's got to be this. There's got to do that. I got to do that. And I bet that's probably been a huge asset for you. Over your career in this business. Don't
Very
think on
much
it. Just
so.
do it.
Yep. I'm a big, I'm a big believer in that.
Heidi, I want to be respectful of your time, and I really appreciate you coming on and just sharing. And I could talk real estate all day with everyone.
I
We could
love
just
it.
go back and forth. But I know you got clients to help. But I always end with this question, and it's if you could give the audience one piece of advice that you wish you had, either starting out or just today doing real estate. What would that be?
Um, Not to sound all hippy dippy, but be kind. Be kind to everybody. I remember when I was first starting in the business, there was this aunt, and it kind of made me pause when she said it, but I carry it with me still to this day. She was like, "Well, I'm going to be a B word, and they're going to respect me." And I don't know what she's doing now. I don't think she's probably doing any business, but I'm forceful in deals, but I'm also kind and fair. And I think that goes a long way with relationships. People know you, they remember you, other agents do. Be kind, be respectful, answer your phone. That's it.
And you're right. I tell agents all the time. Look, at the end of the day, as of this moment, there's what 9,000, 10,000 real estate agents just in our MLS, but people remember you, and you have some sort of reputation one way or the other. And how do you want that reputation to be? The fact that you remembered that, from when you got into the business, and it still holds to you, that just
Hmm.
goes to tell you, right? We're all in this together, and at the end of the day, we're here to help someone buy a house, and we're here to help someone sell a house. And how can we do that? Heidi, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for coming. We're gonna have to catch up again.
Yeah, thanks,
Maybe
buddy.
grab a drink or something like that. But those that are
I got
watching,
my
Heidi's phone number. Say what?
got my Red Bull.
Those that are watching, Heidi's phone number is at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to reach out to her if you're a real estate agent, you want to connect with her, just to chat. If you are someone that's looking to buy or sell here in the Columbus area, make sure you hit her up as well. I'm sure you're still taking on new clients, right?
Yeah, always.
Heidi, if they want to reach out to you, what's the best phone number for you?
614-638-9600. Call, text, whatever you need to do. Just don't
Awesome.
FaceTime me.
Heidi. Only Zoom. Only Zoom.
Yeah, right.
Heidi, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk soon. See ya.
Bye, buddy.